What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Boxmining Daily, where I take a look at what's happening on the cryptocurrency markets and news. Today is June the 4th. I'm going to take a look at what's happening with the EOS launch, first of all, followed by Zencash. Zencash has been hit by a 51% attack. I'll tell you exactly what that means. We also have, in terms of adoption, Bittrex. Bittrex is looking to accept USD. So that's a little bit of a good news if you're looking to buy a lot of altcoins. We also have Estonia. So Estonia's kind of push to try to make their own cryptocurrency has been met with a lot of resistance, and they might be backing out on that. We also have, of course, Qubic, IOTA's kind of newest upgrade, and we're going to look at what they're doing over there. I like to say, of course, everything covered here is my personal opinion and not financial advice. So let's start off by looking at the market cap first of all. So we're pulling a little bit back from the major push we had last weekend. Well, I say major, it's not really major in terms of crypto, but we do see Ethereum above 600, so that's not too bad. The market cap is at $344 billion, so it's actually a little bit above the high levels of last week. In terms of news, I feel like it's good to discuss that sometimes Ethereum is experiencing a bit of relief, because there was a lot of FUD last week about how EOS, the project, collected a lot of Ethereum and they were dumping it, and that turned out to be mostly untrue. Ethereum is actually resuming good numbers. It's growing quite a bit over the weekend. It's above 600, so it's not too bad over here. So in terms of other cryptocurrencies, we do have a little bit of a drop for something like Cardano and IOTA, which is not too surprising for IOTA's sake, because recently they had a major push because of new announcements, and it's in typical crypto fashion that, well, we buy the rumor and sell the news. So recently IOTA introduced something called Qubic. So Qubic is quorum-based computation. What it essentially does is it adds a lot of features onto IOTA. Well, something that you probably expect is computation. So IOTA, before, it was mostly a currency. It was a currency that was kind of designed to be used by IoT devices, so it was kind of free to send that currency to each other, and it uses something called Tango. Right now, what they added here is the ability to outsource computations. So in a way, the kind of vision for this is to allow dumb IoT devices to outsource and pay for calculations from smarter IoT devices. If you get the drift of what I'm saying, basically, it allows machines to kind of form a whole mesh of calculations and for this to be paid by the currency. So it also adds smart contract capability. So it really makes IOTA much more capable. We do see a dump because, of course, I think there was a lot of hype coming up to this. But overall, in terms of the actual kind of concrete upgrades, I do feel like quite a lot's being added to IOTA right now. So in terms of other altcoins, EOS. So EOS has this major hype coming up to its mainnet launch. Right now, the software itself has been released and it's set to launch. The idea right now is it's for the community to launch it. So that's why if you go to any EOS website, they're talking about voting for block producers. These are the guys, it's kind of like the equivalent of basically mining pools. These would be the ones who produce blocks, but they need to be voted in. This whole idea of delegated proof of stake. You delegate your vote to these block producers, and they're the ones who are meant to keep the network alive. So a lot of these network producers want to get voted in. They want to track your attention, and it might not be the case that every one of these get to win and become one of the 21 block producers out there. But it's being launched right now. It's gonna maybe take a few days for the votes and for this whole network to stabilize, and then we'll see the actual EOS network being deployed. So one thing I do want to say about this whole meta game, the whole situation of the game of coins right now, is that there's no clear winner. So we did see multiple coins attacking each other, but what we do notice in the long run is that there is less and less dominance. Bitcoin dominance is decreasing, Ethereum dominance is also increasing, and the alt market is booming. And recently I got a lot of interest in Openchain because this is a tool for developers to leverage the power of every single blockchain. So we're talking a lot about transactions per second in terms of blockchain, but what if you can just leverage them all, kind of like a load balancer? So I was pretty interested in that, and I'll talk more about Openchain in the future as well, because I feel like this is one of the projects that can potentially unite these blockchains together. Instead of like competing with each other, why don't we work together to build a better system and have some actual DApps that are amazing? So let's go on to the first bit of news today, which is Zencash. So Zencash was hit by a double spin attack. This is not the first double spin attack we've seen. We've seen Bitcoin Gold being hit by a double spin attack as well. So the idea behind a double spin attack is that a hacker can essentially send money, or send in this case Zencash, to an exchange and also to their wallet. And they can scam that exchange by reversing the transaction. In fact, if it went into the exchange and it was confirmed with X number of confirmations, they can attempt to use a huge amount of hash power, mining power that is, to basically reorganize the network. This is extremely dangerous, not just for exchanges, but also if you're accepting cryptocurrency as well, especially large amounts of crypto. So this comes about because, well, any coin that's not protected by a lot of hash power, so anything other than Bitcoin and Ethereum, well, people can really buy that mining power and try to outvote the legitimate people on the network. So anything more than 51% allows them to have control over the network, and that's why it's so dangerous. And it's especially dangerous for smaller coins, especially ones with lower market cap, because, well, their mining is less profitable, so they have less power, naturally have less hash power protecting it. And it seems it might be the case, right now the investigation is in progress to determine exactly who was responsible. It's like, in these cases, it's really hard to pinpoint because you only have to address responsible. But the rumor goes that it might be a large corporation, or it may be even a large mining pool, or even ASIC producers that have mining hardware there that's like maybe an ASIC that can mine at a much higher hash rate. And then instead of turning that on and start mining, they use it for malicious attacks. What this means in the long run is that this is the start of a potential change where smaller coins that are protected by proof of work isn't as safe anymore, and they might choose to have to go for another consensus algorithm. And more importantly, go to say that this is something that my friend Peter also told me about as well. Coins that are protected by a proof of work, the smaller coins, they're gonna get attacked first. So every coin just has to run faster than the other guy. So it's gonna be a race for hash power now. The more hash power there is, the more protection it is. And obviously Bitcoin has the most, being worth the most, and also having the most kind of technology, well, in terms of ASIC, even in the nanometers for the chips, protecting it. So that's good news for Bitcoin, bad news for smaller coins out there. Now, moving on to Bittrex. So Bittrex has long been a crypto to crypto exchange, but what they want to do is they want to kind of, not rely on the USDT anymore and try to work with the Americans, or work with a few banks at the very least, to allow fiat to crypto conversions. So if this now serves as a point, this might be even harder than Coinbase, because Coinbase has very limited coins, but Bittrex has much more. So this is offering more competition, and in that way it's offering us more, advantages, more kind of options to get into crypto. So I definitely view this as very positive news. Now moving on to Estonia. So Estonia wanted to form their own national cryptocurrency, so government-backed crypto. You know my stance towards that. Government-backed cryptos don't work because the whole idea of cryptos is that governments don't back it. There's no central authority controlling a cryptocurrency. Well, it seems like the European Central Bank kind of agrees. Well, they've been putting fire on Estonia not to issue out the currency, and it seems like, well, they're backing that off. But there is some interest as well from the IMF. So they're interestingly trying to fight crypto with crypto, fire with fire. So this has been a recent talk recently. Like, they see crypto growing strong. They're like, okay, maybe we should offer our own alternatives. And my response to that is, don't fight fire with fire, just join it. Lastly, I'm going to update you on a few things that's going to happen this month. I'm going to attend the Blockchain Economic Forum in San Francisco. I'm being invited to speak there, and I also make some videos to show you what's going on. So this is not the first time I've attended BEF. I've attended it also back in New York last year, and it was quite eye-opening to see the number of new people coming into this. So this year, what they have is, it's a little bit interesting. They have the top speaker, Sophia. This is the creepy robot you've probably seen around. Also, Tim Draper, the ex-Minister of Finance in Canada, and of course, ex-chairman of the CFTC. So what I think they're trying to do is they're trying to show a lot of different viewpoints from people who are in regulation in the past, and try to tackle the issue of cryptocurrency regulation. So I do have a link down below for like 20% off the ticket. It's going to be a 3-day event over there. So I'm going to try to see as many projects in San Francisco as possible. And guess what, guys? I'm gonna try to attend E3 as well. This is like the biggest gaming convention for people, for gamers. So I want to see what's being released, and it's just right before BEF. So hopefully I can have a time to like buy a ticket there and check out what's happening. Guys, thank you so much for watching this episode. I'm also very interested in what projects you're researching and looking into. It seems like we're back into the research phase now with a lot more excitement coming into cryptocurrencies, and I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about and researching. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Remember to click the little subscribe button to subscribe to this channel and the little notification bell to get notified of new videos when they get released. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.